So just let your ball sit on your hip. Don't hold the ball with the hand, let the wrist sit onto the ball and just anchor into your heels. So from here, starting in set position, we're going to stand tall, roll the shoulders back, tuck under with your tailbone. Don't let this hip move, and you're just going to gently roll the ball down your thigh and then bring it back up. Now again, your shoulder eases down to the side and then your shoulders come back above the hips. You're keeping the chin slightly drawn back towards the throat. And you also notice that as you roll down to your right, you're keeping the weight in your left heel. Gentle breath in through the nose as you lower down. And again, the out breath to restack. Now again, give your tailbone a little tuck under, and then a little squeeze of your bum to help keep the hips nice and still. And then see if you can reach just a tiny bit further. And 2 more. Again, a nice stretch down the side of the body. Also a little bit of work as you pull the ribs back in line with your hips. I like that one a lot. Let's try on the other side. So really set the shoulders first. Weight into the heels and soft through your knees. Tuck under with the bottom. Gentle breath in as you roll down. And then the out breath as you restack. Trying to keep the ear in line with the shoulder. Because sometimes to get further, our head and shoulder naturally comes forward and it ends up rounding into the lower back. Just got to maintain that alignment as you ease down. Anchor down to that right heel and then pull the ribs back towards the hips. Again, the hips are anchored, muscles here stretching, and then muscles there working to pull back in. Again, soft breath in, out breath with the lift. In breath through your nose and out breath through your mouth. And just 2 more here. So we're going to look at that same movement through the spine, but we're going to bring the ball this time in front of the thighs. Shoulders roll back. You're going to breathe in, lift both arms. Breathe out, ease to the right. Bring the ball down with the left hand and then turn your palm. Bring the ball up and then bring the shoulders back above the hips. So we're going to breathe in, take the ball down with the left hand, palm towards your thigh. Right heel press into the floor, turn your palm, bring the ball up, and then bring the shoulders back above the hips. Again, just take it as far as you feel comfortable. Keep pressing down now into your left heel, and then pull the ribs back towards the hips. Breath in through the nose, and then out through your mouth. Right back up into the centre. I'm going to do that 4 more times in each direction. Turn your palm, bring it back in, bring the shoulders up, and then ease down. Press down to your right heel, let the ball drop. Turn your palm, sweep it up, and then see if you can go a little bit further. Breathe out through the mouth. Keep breathing out to come back up tall. And really come tall in the centre. So it just helps to create a little bit more space between each vertebrae. 2 more each side. I can't go any taller than this because I'm in the ceiling. Again, trying to reach, lift up through the ribs. Crown of head pulling towards the ceiling. And again, gentle breath in, drop the ball, breathe out, pull it back up into the centre, and once more each side. And last one over to your left. Drop, turn, sweep up into the middle, and then ease the ball down. Take a step forward with your right leg. Lean forward so we're going to get into our obliques by keeping the trunk of the body still. We're just going to lift the right arm and then bring it back into the centre. Now as you lift the right arm, you're going to turn the head and keep the nose in line with the thumb. Now as you're turning the head, you're trying to keep your left arm and your left shoulder in position. So you're not letting the whole body turn. Little squeeze into the bottom, pressing down through that front heel. And again, just feeling that stretch and rotation coming through your spine and your neck as you turn your eye gaze with the ball. Breathe in as you ease it down. Breathe out to pull back. 2 more to your right. And then with your last one, stay here, ball to the front of your thigh and just lift the arms and bring it back to the knee. So that's going to help the extensor muscles that run down the spine. As you're pulling the arms back, you're trying not to let the back change position. So you're squeezing through the shoulders and bringing it back to the thigh. Breathing out with each lift and a breath in as you come down. As you're breathing out, just gently holding the belly button towards the back. Trying to create that nice line from your heel all the way up your arms. 2 more. And your last one. And then push into your front heel and just step together. Changing sides when you're ready. So the ball comes back in front of the thigh. Right leg back straight. It is. Can I just feel that right buttock burning, so I've just been using that one. Anchor into your left heel, pull the shoulder blades back and keep lengthening the whole time. Keep the right arm still as that left arm lifts. And again, sometimes it's tempting to twist with the body. So again, we're trying to hold the body as still as possible, but feel a little bit of rotation. That right arm stays exactly where it is. Breathe out through the mouth with each lift. And again, lengthening the neck so your eye gaze just following the ball. Just notice that your weight doesn't roll forward into the toes. So you're keeping it anchored back into the heel. 3, 2, and your last one. From here, keep the spine in that same position. Just let the arms lift. And again, when the arms lift, you're trying not to move your body. So we've got that constant work with the muscles in the back to hold the spine still. Otherwise, we tend to end up lifting and flaring with the ribs. We just want the arms to move and everything else to stay still. And again, it's really good to help increase and maintain that range of movement through the shoulders and the stability through the back. As well as you're pressing down through your left heel, hopefully feeling your bottom working, which is creating that stability as well. One last time. And then stepping into the centre. From here, shoulders roll back. You're going to roll the ball down your thighs, tuck in the chin, and then roll the ball back up your thighs and shoulders back. So just feeling the movement at the back again, from the chin. Tucking and rolling. And then your tailbone scooping up. And as you're rolling down with the ball, let the ball roll up your arms. So you're not worrying about where the ball sits. Just starts on your fingertips. And as you push the fingertips down, you'll feel the ball rolling up your forearms. Again, gentle breath in as you roll forwards. And then pause, draw the belly up, and restack your spine twice more. And then with your last one, you're going to restack the spine, roll the shoulders back and down, and hold. Right, so we're going to work our way down to the floor when you're ready. So coming down your own way, we're going to come onto our backs first. We're going to have the ball behind the lower back. And you're going to allow yourself to lean and rest in your ball. As you're leaning onto the ball, don't have the knees too close because that overworks the hip flexors. So you can have your feet a little further out. I'll give myself some more mats. Or Lexi might get a foot on the nose. With your arms extending out in front, tailbone slightly tucked, belly button towards the back. You're just going to slide one leg out to a hover and then bring it back into your start position. Now when you slide your right leg forward, imagine your left foot's resting on an eggshell. So you're breathing in as you slide the foot forwards and then breathing out to pull back. Now it's the transition you're starting to think about. When you make that transition from one foot to the other, you're trying not to let yourself rock. Breathe in through the nose. A pause. Breathe out through the mouth and pull back. Starting to think about the ribs now. So the ribs are slightly held down towards the hips. Whenever you're ready, you can start to lift the opposite arm. Remembering the foot that stays in the centre stays on an eggshell. Opposite hand, just reaching up towards the ceiling. Really slow and smooth on that transition. Keep pressing the belly button through towards the back, through towards the ball. And think about the length up through the back of the neck. So it's going to feel chin's just slightly nodded in. That eye gaze is firmly fixed forward. 2 more on each side if you can. And at any point if you need to, just taking a rest. But hopefully starting to feel those deeper muscles working harder as we keep the spine, the hips and the ribs still. Your last one. And I'm resting. Hands onto the knees and come forward. Take a hold of your ball. Now the legs a little bit further out in front. Ball just on the knees, shoulders roll back. We're going to come up nice and tall first, and then when you're ready, bring the arms forward, tuck under the bottom. Take a little roll back, both arms lift, ball comes back to the knees, and then push forward and restack your spine. The stretch in the spine, so the tailbone scoops under. The belly button's pressing back to the spine to a position where you can hold and lift the arms without the trunk of the body moving. Back in front of your thighs, and then push forward and restack. Tailbone first, the lower back stretching, pressing the belly button through. Keep the ribs down. One should come as far as you comfortably can. Arms float. Ball back to the knees. Roll forward and restack. Tall. With breath this time. Gentle breath in as you roll back. Out breath when you're ready to lift your arms. Soft breath in. And the out breath as you come forward and restack. 4 more, 3 more even. Breath in. Out with a lift. Gentle breath in. Out to push forward. And your last 2. Maybe scooping a little further down. It's always the easy looking ones that are the hardest. 1 more time. And then pushing the ball gently forwards. And resting. Okay, this time we come all the way down to the floor. So in your own time, coming all the way down to the ground. Place the ball underneath your bottom. So as the ball's under your bottom, it's kind of between your hip bones. So from above, if you're looking, the ball will be sat between your hip bones. Now the knees are about a 90-degree angle, so they're not too close. And all we're going to do is think about lifting the foot an inch off the ground. So levelling your pelvis so the hips are nice and still. Gently drawing the abdominals in, and then a tuck in with the chin. Making sure the ribs aren't flaring, shoulders press into the floor, and lift your right foot an inch without wobbling. And then place your foot down. So your left foot lifts an inch off the ground, and then place it down. So you get the feeling you're pushing your knee up to the ceiling, and then placing it back on the floor. Push up with the knee. Now, trying to make that transition from one foot to the other again, really smooth. And you should feel as soon as you lift the foot, the tummy muscles start to do a little bit more work. Less on this one is more. It works your tummy muscles harder, just lifting an inch, rather than bringing the knee all the way above the hip. Now we're going to do it with the opposite arms. So you've got the hands here for stability. That stops a little bit of wobbling. So as we take the arms away, you're going to rely on your core more to stop the wobbling, making sure you're still in neutral. Shoulders draw back and press into the floor. Your right foot lifts an inch. Your left arm then reaches back, comes into the centre, and then your right foot down. Keep the right foot on the eggshell as your left foot lifts. Breathe in, your right arm reaching back into the centre and place it down. Smooth transition. It's not as easy lifting that side for me. So as smooth as you can, especially when the feet lift. That's where you'll feel the pelvis wants to change position, or it wants to rock more. I find it particularly hard on this side not to rock when I lift my foot. There it is. Now as the arm reaches back, focus then comes onto the ribs. So as you're reaching the arm back, you're trying to not let the ribs flare. Now we're going to add the extension with the leg as well. So when you lift your right foot, extend the leg away, bring it back to the centre and place it down. And your left foot, extend into the centre and place it down. Thinking about the space between the ribs and hips. Try not to allow that space to increase as you extend the arm and leg away. And we're going to do that once more on each side. So coming in now to your last one on each side. And again, that's really good, strong core work. Who needs to do lots of sit-ups and get your core working just as hard when you're lying down. And then resting both feet down. From here, bring the hands down. Just tilt your pelvis back so it stretches your lower back. If you think about where your hip bones are, imagine you've got two laser lights on them. You're trying to point them up to the ceiling, and then you're trying to point the lights back towards your head. Now as you push your lights back up towards the ceiling, you're trying to keep the rib cage down. So you don't want to let the ribs flare here. So the ribs are down, the hip bones, the headlights, the laser lights point to the head. Keeping the ribs down, try and point them up to the ceiling. Then you feel how much more movement you have to create through your lower back rather than letting the whole upper body get involved. So the ribs are anchored, hip bones point back, and then point up to the ceiling without the ribs flaring. And again, exercises like these are so good to do for the lower back, but also for upper abdominals, making them realise that they are actually there to stabilise a lot of the time. So again, thinking about the ribs not flaring as you push your lights up towards the ceiling. Two more, breathing out as you tilt back, and a breath in as you release. And one more time. And then resting between those 2 points. Take your ball from behind your bottom and then place it between your knees. We're going to do our knee rolls with the ball between the knees. So I'm just going to slightly change position so you can see. The feet stay hip distance apart. You can have your arms wide or your hands on your ribs again, still aware that the ribs stay still. We breathe in, roll the knees over to the right, and then breathe out, bringing the knees back into the centre. The feet stay hip distance apart, and as you roll to your left, your right foot comes off the floor, and then as you breathe out, you're bringing everything back in alignment. The chin stays nodded in, and you're just thinking about stretching that space between the ribs and the hips. Now this time, as you roll to your right, find a stretch between the ribs and the hips on the left, and then extend your leg. Then bend the knee and bring the legs back into the centre. So you roll, you extend the leg, push your toes forward for more stretch, bend the knee, and then come back into the centre. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what we're going to do is make this movement into a nice bit of a stretch. So give me 2 more on each side, and then while we're in this position with the ball, it's nice for a stretch through the chest and back. So your last one each way. And then resting. Take the arms wide, relax the shoulders, roll both knees over to the right. You can let that left shoulder lift so your knees are facing to the right hand side. And then all you're going to do here is extend your top leg. So the ball's still placed between your knees, arms are wide. Now, you're going to push your top leg forward and allow that back arm to lift off the floor. So keep pushing forward. And then as you draw the leg back, you let your shoulder come back down to the floor. As you breathe out, push the foot away, pull them with the hip, and just let that back arm hang. And then ease back down when you're ready. So you're breathing out through the mouth as you push away, through the foot, through the hip, shoulder, and then release back to the floor. And 4 more. So again, just let the arm hang on its own. You can deepen this stretch maybe by bringing the arm higher, or maybe just keeping the arm in line with your shoulder. So if you're not feeling the stretch, maybe bring the arm a little bit higher, and then you're more likely to get a deeper stretch into the front of the shoulder and the chest. Mine's definitely there. And one last time. Breath in through the nose. Out breath, push and reach into your toes. Keep pushing your foot forward. And then ease back when you're ready. Bend the knee, bring the knees into the centre. Move the dog. Roll the knees to the left. Again, don't worry about the shoulder lifting off the ground. Extend your top leg. When you're ready, you're going to push the foot forward, allow that back arm to lift, and then you're going to try and pull the shoulder back down to the floor. And then you push forward with the foot, let the arm hang, and release on the way back down. The out breath, the push, and the in breath as you release down. Maybe try to go a little bit further each time. Maybe adjusting the position of the arm. So maybe bringing the arm a little bit higher towards the ear line. This must be lovely right now for you, Margareta. By your lake, blue skies. And once more. And then coming back into the centre, bending your knee and bringing the knees back in line with your hips. Losing the ball when you're ready. I'm going to turn over and come onto our hands and knees. Ball into the right hand, and we're going to again just encourage that little bit of rotation through the spine. So with your left hand under your shoulder, your chest gently pressing forwards, we're going to allow the spine to rotate. You're threading the ball under your body and then drawing your shoulder back. Try not to collapse as you thread the ball under. Sometimes this left elbow wants to bend and we almost end up drop into the floor. We're going to keep pushing that left hand into the ground, so it's your upper back you're turning and your head. You're trying to keep the ears and the shoulders, the hips in line. Feel the shoulder blade pulling back. That's when we start to get more rotation through the spine. One more time. And then changing sides when you're ready. So with the left hand, ball in the left hand, sorry, right hand under the shoulder. Explain what I mean, it helps. Thread the ball through and then draw the shoulder back. Now try and keep your weight even through the knees. A little tuck under with the tailbone, so again, the more you keep the knees and the hips still, the more rotation you can bring through the spine. Breathe out as you pull the arm back. Breath in as you thread underneath. Breathing out as you open. And again, your last two. Keep allowing the head to turn with the ball. and then finishing with your last one. Ball can come down, hands under shoulders. Walk hands back if you can from here, just rolling onto your heels. Press through the heels when you're ready. Let the head hang so it allows the spine to release and lengthen. Support yourself with your elbows if you choose, or fingers down by the feet. Bring the chin in so you're looking back between your thighs if possible. And in your own time, bend the knees and then restack. Coming up very slowly through each vertebrae. Very hard to talk in this position without sounding like an alien. And the head lifts and the shoulders just roll back. A few gentle shoulder circles. Breathing in as you lift them. And using the out breath as you just ease back and down. And once more. I know you ladies are also free to go and enjoy your weekend. Give yourselves a clap.